let me welcome you to Nigeria Pride this Tuesday.
Nigeria Pride.
I share it.
The best of Nigeria in the diaspora.
Stay Niger to the more.
All right, thank you for joining us on the program Nigeria Pride once again on the network service of Radio Nigeria, Africa's largest radio network. And if you're listening from Africa and from parts of the world, I'm happy that you are with us on the show today.
Best of Nigeria in the diaspora.
Stay Niger to the more.
Well, it's indeed true that we have challenges and a few bad eggs who tend to portray Nigeria in a bad light. But believe me, my friend, it's one package on one country with one song in one voice. And I am your one ambassador, Tope Ojeme, for Nigeria Pride. It's a great nation.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided and poised. We will take us down. What is ours? Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. We're freedom. Hope for us all.
The best of Nigeria in the diaspora.
Our land, where there's hope for us all.
Stay Niger to the more.
Nigeria Pride.
Yes, I believe. And together we'll take a stand. Timida Kolo there, winner of first season Idols West Africa. A sure witness example of a Nigerian pride. Some ambassadors are working hard, spending time, energy, and resources, shining the Nigerian light as great Nigerians.
Nigeria Pride.
I share it.
The best of Nigeria in the diaspora.
It's a special one today as we take a second edition of our interaction with a Nigerian in Ireland who's doing very well. His name, Peter Oghina, who is a specialist in TV and video production. But this time he's working on his foundation, and they have Miss Nigeria Ireland program, which has been going on very well. At the moment, they are in Nigeria on a charity work, and we are glad we have Peter Oghina here with us, as well as the Miss Nigeria in Ireland, Deborah Yinka Gabriel. Peter Oghina, welcome once again.
How are you doing, Tope? Nice
Good
to be with you
once again. Thank you for being with us last week, and you found time to be here again this week.
Thank you so
this
much.
week you came with Deborah Yinka Gabriel, who is a Nigerian in Ireland who won the Miss Nigeria Ireland show. Deborah Yinka Gabriel, I can't wait to hear how your voice sounds. Do you sound Islandish or Nigerianish?
Well, I just have a mixture of both accents. I've been told nobody ever knows what accent exactly I have, but I think it's just a mixture of Nigerian, Irish, just everything put together.
Everything put together,
Yeah.
but more of the Nigerian, isn't it?
More of the
Okay. I'm happy that that's happening, and welcome to the show. Now, Peter Oghina, before I get to talk with Yinka, Peter, let's go to this issue of the Miss Nigeria Island. Last week on the show, you mentioned something very striking. Most other pageant shows, when you see them, they do a lot of nudity, a lot of things that almost present, in fact, most parents would never want their daughters to be involved in such things because it's considered like things prostitutes would do, and exposing their bodies in ways that no man would want his wife to be exposed in that way. But you said that you've even had to revoke the crown of someone who won the pageant because the person went into nudity. Now let's get to know more about this, your program on Miss Nigeria Island.
Yeah, Miss Nigerian Island started in 2008. That was the very first edition. And like I said before, when we first started, we had a swimwear segment of it. And after the event, I started asking myself, does this sell Nigeria as a country? Because the only reason we started Miss Nigeria was to project our image through the young ones in Ireland. And if we need to do that, does, coming out in swimwear, I'm not against swimwear when you are in the beach and you want to, have to be free, but there's a time for everything. When we talk about serious things like wearing a crown and having a sash that says Miss Nigerian Island, it should be about the positives of the country. And we know that the feminists and a lot of people, like you said, parents and other serious-minded people have always had issues with being naked and claiming to be a role model. So we completely changed the direction of the pageant, and we said, no, we should represent Nigeria in the good sense of it, in the positive sense of it. Since then, Miss Nigerian Island do not do swimwear. And when parents who, like you said, who are concerned that their daughter told them that they want to be participate in Miss Nigerian Island, call us to ask that we are concerned because we want to be there for our daughter, whatever they want to do, we want to be there for them. But if there's swimwear, unfortunately, we don't think we can do that. And we say, well, we are happy, fortunately, that we don't do swimwear. So to actually drive home that point again, this time around, we had a queen who thought that she could disobey the rules and get away with it. And this has to do with the foundation. This is the problem with some of the rules in this country when we say the rules are there, but they are not implemented. This is the foundation of who we are as Nigerians, as the Miss Nigeria Island organization, that if those things that we hold supreme, if they are not respected, then there's no reason to be Miss Nigerian Island. Because there are a lot of followers from Nigeria. There are a lot of followers in diaspora in different countries who see the queens, who says, well, yes, this queen is representing us. They might not be in Ireland. They might be in the UK. They might be in America. So there has to be a standard. There has to be a positive representation of who we are as Nigerians all over the world. It cannot always be bad stories. We have some people, the press, you know yourself as a press man, the media triumph on negative things. They really don't celebrate the positives. So if a Miss Nigeria comes to Nigeria to take part in a charity project, the media, it is no news sometimes to them. But when a Miss Nigeria is naked, it's almost news. That's news. Everybody wants to carry it. Oh, look at Miss Nigeria Queen in Ireland. That is not a way to celebrate who we are as Nigerians. That is not the way to be a role model, a cultural ambassador to Nigeria. So if you do it as Miss Nigerian Island, and as far as we are the organizers, be rest assured that you are gone the moment we know that you are involved in that.
So it means this your style of Miss Nigeria Island is not just it's about beauty, but it's not also just about beauty and all that. It's also about the brains.
It's about beauty and brains. And when you watch the videos, you know, like I said before, what we do is not, they don't come and parade themselves in clothes and just leave. No, they come, they talk about who they are. They bring out that which makes them thick. They talk about the country Nigeria. They are made to research different issues about Nigeria. On that day, they talk about it. They wear our cultures, they wear our clothes. The present one is in her final year in the university. They've been students, serious-minded people. Even the first and second runner-up. We've never had Miss Nigeria who educationally, they are not there. They have to be there, because if you are not there, you can't actually stay. Some might be quiet than the others. So if you are not intelligent, you cannot even contest in the Miss Nigeria pageant.
All right. Well, I'm sure that the listener, as much as I would be looking forward to hearing the voice of Miss Nigeria Island. Her name is Deborah Yinka Gabriel. She's a final year pharmaceutical science student in Ireland, and she is Miss Nigeria Island in Nigeria at the moment on a charity work. Deborah, you're welcome once again to Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
All right. Deborah, what's it like for you being Miss Nigeria in Ireland?
Well, so far it's just been awesome, because like being Miss Nigeria, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of things that, you know, maybe I've thought of doing, but I haven't actually had the opportunity to do it. Like, for example, coming to Nigeria to visit like the orphanage homes, it's just been a great experience. Like, to see children and to talk to them, you know, to give them like gifts and stuff, and just to see how happy they are when they receive these things. It's just like a once in a lifetime experience, and
putting smiles on people's
putting
faces.
smiles on their faces.
Now, when did you have to leave Nigeria for the diaspora where you are studying right now?
I left Nigeria when I was 5, and I left with my family, myself, my parents, and I have 5 sisters. So we all moved to Ireland, and we've been living in Ireland for the past 15 years.
As soon as you were crowned Miss Nigeria, what did you begin to do to project Nigeria in Ireland?
Well, we go to different events. Like there was one we went to in Ireland called Women of Love, and what they were doing was to help girls, just to, you know, show them the positive light, to help them, you know, just to encourage them for education and things like that. So we just do different things just to help promote Nigeria in a good way, to make people see that Nigeria isn't as bad as everybody actually think it is, you know.
If you had an opportunity to sell Nigeria right now, and you have facing you a lot of tourists, and you're thinking of which country in Africa, in West Africa, to go to, what reasons would you give them to make Nigeria a destination of choice?
Nigeria is a beautiful country, and it has so many people that are just nice and, you know, welcoming. Like, so far, my stay in Nigeria, I've met so many people, made so many friends. It's not as bad as everybody claims it is. Nigeria is a beautiful country, and once you get here, you know, it's just like anywhere else. There's some parts that are maybe not as developed as other places, but you know, when you go to the right place, you will have a lovely time. You will enjoy yourself. So I don't think anybody should be scared or afraid to come to Nigeria, because it's just, you know, it's a beautiful country.
Nigeria, a beautiful country with beautiful people like you. And it's good to know that you are a Miss Nigeria who's not parading nudity and what so many other Miss whatever they call themselves do. But you are about brains and about respecting Nigeria. We'll take a break as we take that song from Two-Face Idibia. He says African Queen. I think it's right to place it in the right perspective. You, an African queen. And thank you very much for being a good African queen to us as Nigerians.
Yeah, yeah, you are my African queen. Ooh, Lord, just like the sun, light up the earth, you light up my life. The only one I ever see with a smile so bright. Hey, and Just yesterday, you came around my way. You changed my horse in way with your astonishing beauty. Oh, you could not make a brother sing. No ordinary thing, a supernatural being. And no, you are brighter than the moon, brighter than the star. I love you just the way you are. And you are my African queen, the girl of my dreams. You take me where I never been, yeah. You make my heart go ting-a-ling-a-ling. Oh, you are my African queen, the girl of my dreams. And you remind me of a thing, and that is the African beauty.
That was Two-Face Deborah with his song African Queen. On the show Nigeria Pride today, we have Peter Oghina, who is CEO Parrot Foundation, and he's organizing Miss Nigeria Island. And he's come back to Nigeria with the current reigning Miss Nigeria Island, who is Deborah Yinka Gabriel. Both of them with us right here on Africa's largest radio network, the network service of Radio Nigeria. Peter Oghina, and I'm back to you. We've heard from you earlier, and we've heard also from Miss Nigeria, Deborah Yinka Gabriel. And it's good to know that it's really much more about brains. Beauty, it's there. Yeah. Indeed, you can say that she's beautiful, but it's also about brains, and that is really wonderful. I'd like to ask you this question. Earlier when I spoke to you off the microphone, you did tell me of some Nigerians who don't even have education and who found themselves in the diaspora. And that's still happening today. I spoke with someone in the UK who works with Butterforce, and she told me of a Nigerian who had to sell off his shop in a Alaba market to go to the UK because he thought that was the place to make it and have greener pastures. He got there with no job to do, nothing, and he was just, trying to survive. I had to eventually, the end of the story is that he had to come back to Nigeria.
One thing that is constant in life is change. When you find that you are no longer in the position where you were before, you have to ask yourself, how can I survive my present position? That has to do with change management. Now, if you found that, because I left my country, I can no longer do what I used to do, ask yourself, what can I do now? Maybe when he used to sell at Alaba, he was a mechanic. Maybe he was a bricklayer. Maybe he was a vulcanizer. Maybe he was a plumber. Maybe he could have gotten any trade at all that made him say, I want to open a shop. But because the shop was good, he wasn't working practically with that profession that he had. But sometimes you don't even have a trade at all. When you get to that London, when you get abroad, where the system expects you to do something, and the system is ready to be there for you, all you just need to do is to bring out that hero that is in you. Then you should take the opportunity. I've seen people who didn't go to school in Nigeria, getting abroad, deciding that they want to go to school. And what did they do? A lot of people think that, like they do in Nigeria, somebody who didn't go to primary 6 will want to start secondary school from class 4. It is not possible. That's not being realistic. I've seen people who, when they get abroad, they go to the right appropriate authority and say, you know what? I want to be something in life. I want to be educated, and I know I don't have it. There are vocational courses. You can become a carpenter. You can become a bricklayer. You can become a plumber. You can become anything. And you know the beauty of these things. Mechanics. Maybe you were trying to learn the art of, mechanics in Nigeria, and you didn't learn it well. You can go there and tell them, and they will teach you professionally. And the good thing sometimes is that when you are doing it, they give you money to survive. You are not alone. You are not left alone. And by the time you finish, I tell you, 90% of the people I know, both men and women, Irish, Europeans and non-Europeans, they are afraid to take their businesses to the corporate bodies. They would rather give it to you if they know you can do it, because where a big company will be charging 1,000 euro to do something for them, you might be charging them 400 euros. They are saving 600 euros. And the good thing about this thing is that this kind of people are in short supply. A lot of people who come abroad, they really don't have that kind of orientation that I can learn this thing and be useful to myself and to society.
Like the lady you talked about.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the lady now. these people who braid hair, when they come abroad, I don't even think they expect what they get. Maybe they just think, oh, I have something that I can use to get, here maybe they are paid 1,000 naira to do people's hair, to braid people's hair. But over there, I think the minimum you can pay, if I'm not wrong, is 25, 30 euros to do your hair. Yeah. Whether they are children, that's not the simple one. When you're doing the difficult ones, you have to pay more. And the moment they come, no matter what part of Europe they live, be they in London, be they in Dublin, be they in Italy, be they in Holland, they start making money the very day. Because if you are a foreigner, a lot of the white people don't know how to make your hair. And even when the hair you want to make can be done in a white salon, but maybe it's expensive. Like I said before about big companies charging more. So people always look for those kind of people who can do something with their hands, who have got vocations. So if you are coming and you know you have any kind of vocation that you can sell, please take it along with you. And when you, even barbers, I know Nigerian barbers that will never go to look for a job. If I get to Dublin now, the first thing I do is that I go straight to my barber to barb my hair. And when I say barber, I have them in different places. So I actually hide to go to one of them, because the other one will say, oh, you didn't come to my place. Because we know where they are. They are working 24/7. So those people would not live there and tell you that they are looking for a job. The least they can take from you is 10 euros. And then when you do other things for one haircut, and when you do other things in addition, you pay more. They also cut women's hair. So what is that person going to, what kind of job is he going to look for? Except it is his burning desire to be a lawyer. Then what you then do is you save the money to pay for your school fees. And then when you pay for your school fees and you start school, you find out that even inside the school, you are still barbing, you are still working.
Let me come back to you, Deborah Yinka Gabriel. I'd like to find out from you. Right now, there are a lot of young Nigerians, maybe, who have the passion for such things like you are doing right now as Miss Nigeria, and some of them in their early 20s, just like you, and so on. What would you say to some of these young Nigerians? Because we do hear, and you will agree with me, we have some ladies who want to go for prostitution because they feel that's the only thing that brings money. That's not what you're doing. You were studying pharmaceutical sciences. At the same time, you have won Miss Nigeria Island. What would you say to young people like you to inspire them?
Well, what I'd say to young people is that everybody goes through hard times. And what you should do is, you should always make a plan for yourself. And once you have a plan for yourself, you should always make sure you pull through to this plan. And one thing you should never do is never give up, because at the end of the day, you might be so close to actually achieving your goal. But once you give up, then that's it over for you. But once you just know you have a plan, and you should just keep on trying and until you reach this goal, and that will be it for you. And you never know what could happen from there. So my advice for young people out there is to never give up and always set a plan and a goal for yourself.
Always set a plan and a goal for yourself. Yeah. Are you still in touch, Olayinka, with your language in Nigeria? You left at such a young age. Even if you don't speak it so well, do you understand anything at all in your language?
Yes, I do understand. My parents speak it to me. It's not that I know how to speak it. It's just not as, it's not as good as. Like when I was in Nigeria, I spoke it fluently, even though I was young.
What language?
Yoruba.
Okay.
But now I still speak it because my grandmom, when I talk to her on the phone, that's how we actually converse in Yoruba. But it's just not as clear as it used to be.
All right, let's give you a small thesis. You're in final year and soon you'll be graduating. So let's begin from here. If you would speak to some Yoruba listener, how would you introduce yourself and say I'm Miss Nigeria from Ireland, and say it in Yoruba language, and let's hear you speak the language.
Orúkọ mi ni Olayinka Gabriel. Mo ń gbé ní Ireland. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, how would you say I love Nigeria with all my heart in Yoruba?
Mo fẹ́ràn Nigeria pẹ̀lú gbogbo ọkàn mi.
I think that's good enough. All right, Peter Oghina is clapping for you. Okay, Peter, it's your turn now. You didn't leave Nigeria at the age of 5. You left at a more mature
big
age.
Man, yeah.
And if you disappoint me as my Edo brother, I will really feel bad. And I guess you won't. Let's hear you say something to our brothers in your language.
All right, I'll just say, Oyaba, Warao, Odifure, Ebe, Fige, Oghina is that now keep faith, now always innocent, and now in future, as Nigerian, my because even though that favor my sometimes my cafe, I will judge Guanigo, or other that ego not a pleasoria. Mavani di Maria, please, so Igbe Mamagwama, please. So if you have a bulo.
All right. Well, I think you'd have to do some interpretation. That's a long one, isn't it? And, what some people would hear is only the sometimes. And, is there no Edo language for sometimes? We'll talk about that another time. Just interpret what you said.
What I'm saying, I'm just saying that brothers and sisters, let's do what is good to project our country. Sometimes we just think that we have to make money quick. But that's at the end of the day, it doesn't go well. It doesn't end up well for us. But if we just have a focus and we work towards it, at the end of the day, we are happier for it.
Thank you very much, Peter Oghina, and CEO Period Productions, specialist TV and video production based in Ireland. Thank you for coming on the show. And thank you for bringing us Miss Nigeria Ireland, Deborah Yinka Gabriel, who is a pharmaceutical science student, final year student in Ireland, and she's presently the reigning queen, Miss Nigeria, about brains and beauty. Deborah, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's it on Nigeria Pride today. Next week, we'll bring you another Nigerian to prove to you and tell you that there are Nigerians doing very well in the diaspora. We call them the unofficial ambassadors, such as Peter Oghina in Ireland and Deborah Yinka Gabriel, also in Ireland, doing very well, representing Nigeria in a great light.
Stay Niger to the more.
Nigeria Pride.
Remember, you can contribute to the program by sending messages to 081-6418-3148. You can also email us on nigeriapride@radionigeria.net or topeoj@radionigeria.net. Till next week, one package, one country, one song, in one voice. I'm your one ambassador, Tope Ojeme, for Nigeria Pride. Think Nigeria, feel Nigeria, and talk Nigeria. Bye for now.
Stay Niger to the more, to the more, to the more, to the more.